This is Justin Amazon on Monday, February 4th, 2019. This is what happened today. A bit of a pullback, retracing. Pullback into the consolidation we had on Friday. This is pretty much our apex of that triangle. Came right back into it with a nice indecision candle and rolled over. But what was a little crazy is this move in the morning. So this, it looked like it was going to hold 1754. And I'm going to dive, normally I just stick with the 5 minute. I'm going to dive into the 1 minute and show you the craziness that happened because I was playing this today. And so I wasn't necessarily playing on the 1 minute, but you got to look at the 1 minute to see what was going on. So we were getting a nice bounce off of 1754. Came up here, came back down. I started taking a look at it about 8:40. I was busy during this time and just was jumping in the markets in here, just seeing what was going on. I was looking at the 5 minute and saw a lower wick, probably the lower wick in here, forming on this 5 minute candle. So I switched over to my orders page on my phone and got the order ready to get in on the 1675 call with an order of 9/8, thinking, okay, this should hold. I'll get in around 9, maybe it'll feel a little better, and then the 8's going to be way down here. It's holding that as pre-market support. It shouldn't get down here. Well, then I must have hit the send order to send. Oh, and the target I had was up at 15, just to get a quick move on a Monday. Get the option moving. And so more on that in a little bit. But so it filled on the 8:44 candle right in here and then stopped me out within that same minute, somewhere down in here, and lost a little less than an hour because I got a good fill. It filled at 880 and it stopped me out at 795. So that was on this single 1 minute candle. And had I waited a minute or two, probably could have gotten a fill up here for 9 and a stop down here at 8 and would have been in this trade and all the way up here. And we'll switch back to the 5 minutes. Oops, that's the 3. Nope. Switch back up to the 5. Here we go. All right. So I was early and wrong by a minute or two. Let's say a minute. Kind of worst case scenario, off by a minute, in and out of the trade, lose a whole R just to see it climb all the way up here. So I was just talking about this being a great location because it was the apex of that triangle. Well, all the way up here, the call option. So here's the call, 1675. So you can see this is the candle. And everything I did on it was at the 8:44 minute. I was actually kind of surprised to see it all happen in a single minute, but I checked the order fill times, and that's what it said. I was really shocked to see. It's like, did I set up the order wrong? No, it actually moved from 9, filling me at 880 about here, and all the way down and stopping me out at 795, and even printed a mark down here, just to see the very next 5 minute candle hold between 9 and 8. So would have gotten a better fill here, and then come up and just grind gently higher. I mean, I could have even gotten a fill at 905 at 9/8, and that would have worked. But it never made it near 15. It only got into the 12s range today. And so, if you look back at the price on Friday of this option, 15 didn't seem that unreasonable. It was going to be kind of the lows in this range, and it wasn't too far away. It was a little bit above the open high on the call. So that would have been, getting back up here. Well, we shot way past that. So 15 seemed reasonable, but even way up here, got nowhere near 15. So, had I been fortunate enough to wait a minute, and sometimes that's what happens with these trades. Had I waited a minute and gotten a fill in here and then left the trade for the day and not come back to it, I would have been stopped out over here about 8 anyway. So, I learned a bit of a lesson, like sometimes that kind of stuff happens and you're in and out so quickly. But because I saw that this didn't get up to 15, and it was stopped out so quick, I was like, okay, maybe I'm reading something wrong. It just, the options grinded. It really didn't make that kind of a shooting move like I expected this to do. And I don't know if that was partly because there was extra options, premiums still, baked into these prices that, even though it had this kind of move, that the option was kind of, ready to absorb some of that, maybe, because the rest of the day it totally just tanked. And if we look over at the puts, so right through here, we're kind of topping. This should have been the lowest value on the put because we got the highest away from whatever put you want to look at. I've got the 1600 put called up. It's below the low of the day. We get a bit of a consolidation stair step here. We break down. We start to form a squeeze here. We kind of retrace, kind of chop around some more. And then here we got another squeeze forming, another stair step here, a little longer than this one, right at these lows. And then we start getting this move, like this move, actually breaking down, and then a retest. So there are some opportunities to get in bearish here, even though a lot of folks, like especially the ones on this upper wick, and some folks on this upper wick, and some folks on this upper wick, were looking for that to bounce. Everyone on this lower wick was looking for that to bounce. Not everyone, half of them, because half of them sold off, half bought back up. But anyway, people were looking for this to continue. You missed it here. Okay, wait for the pullback, get in here. Okay, now it's going to, now it doesn't go. It starts to just go sideways, and your premiums getting sucked out. Or if you're in the shares, you got a pretty tight stop because you want to make the most of that. Everything's going up, but nope, it didn't do that. Again, this line is the downtrend channel on daily. You know what I'm going to do right now, because I get tired of continuing to talk about this? I'm going to color this different. Why is this not? Let me change the color. Okay. Right, for the daily. Nope. Oh, maybe. Did it change anything? So let me change the color on this. I don't know why it let me do this. Set color for all curves. Oh, that didn't know. Okay, I will try and change that color another time, because that's really getting annoying to have it right in here, because that wasn't anything right here. Just ignore that. So there you go. It's gone. I deleted it for now. I'll put it back. Don't worry. But, you can see we're starting to break down through the 21. Okay, we retested, retested here. The squeeze is forming bearish. Another retest the low here, and then it just rolled over. It was a great place to get in on a rollover, but you had all this time of just, waiting. And all of this, so if we switch over and we look at the put, all this was that topping. I mean, this was the time, 11:15, where it threw that upper wick on the 5 minute for the stock, and then on the put came down to 588, and then over here we were coming back down to some of those levels, but you could have waited all the way through till 12:25 through 12:45 and gotten in like 7 by 6, and who cares about that then? That it wicked a little bit lower. I mean, maybe if I had the trade set up here, 7 by 6, I would have been upset about that, like this morning. But it moved just so sideways in here, giving plenty of opportunities to just wait for something to set up on the puts, that it was actually a better day to play the puts, just because you had so many opportunities to get in here and here and here. Like the 12:45, that was this candle. So all through here, it's broken down. You get a squeeze forming. It's retesting. All of this, you could have been getting in 7 by 6, and you should have been filled, because that's where the price was showing up here. So 7 by 6, 7 by 6, 7 by 6. The low here was 680. The low here was, low there was 703. Maybe wouldn't have been filled there. Low of 7, low of 695. So, very possibly been filled 7 by 6, anywhere in this, and then just hold that, because it's continued to roll over. Made it almost up to 12, a little bit under 12. So let's say you got out at 11, or maybe let's say you got out here at 10. That's still 7 by 6, moved up to 10. That's 3R. I'd take that, especially losing an R or a little less than R today. But it also seems like from here down to here should have been more than 3R, So I'm pretty sure there's some extra premium baked into things today after earnings. And, maybe that helps the people selling options, like the market makers, to not lose as much if, they just kind of let things grind around a little bit. So let's keep an eye out. Let's be aware of that the rest of the week, that, we need the rest of the premium to get sucked out on any of these things that are a little bit like too good to be true to see these values, and just, set our targets a little bit closer, I guess. So going from, a target, setup of 9 by 8 up to 15 seems reasonable on maybe a Tuesday or a Wednesday or something like that, but maybe not on a Monday after earnings. So, lesson learned there. And we'll just continue to track to see how things go. So let's see if we go back to this and see how these things moved. So this from the low here of 8 up to 12, that was a move from 1617 up to 1647. So a 30-point move on the option. The 1675 option on a Monday only moved by $4. And that's crazy. It should have been moving by way more than that. And then this one rolling over, going from, let's even say this level, from 1640 down to 1628. That move went from 7 to 10, and up here went only $12. I mean, 3 versus 12, and then over here it was 4 versus 30, right? That just seems like things should be moving more than that. So when I saw that was happening here, I was kind of like, taking a step away. It's like something's not quite right. This is not the ideal setting. I'm not going to get my massive trade of like a 20R kind of thing. Let's set this one out. I lost an R. I don't want to, be trading emotionally. Don't want to be trading thinking, okay, I'm going to get it back because it's going to do this, which, I'm sure people were saying to themselves all through here, hey, it's going to bounce. It's going to bounce. This is so big. This is so much of a rally. It's going to bounce. And then it doesn't bounce and would have been out another R there. So let's see. Can I maximize this one again? So here we are right here. We've been in this no man's land for a while. We've been in here mostly in this range since we got back into it on January 7th. I mean, we wicked down a little bit. We had a little bit of a close below. But for the most part, we've been trading sideways for almost a month. Now, I've not looked at the monthly chart to see how this looks, but I mean, to me, this is a little more bearish. I mean, a little more bullish than bearish. We gapped down for earnings, didn't really sell off hard. I mean, we could be about to do that. We could come a little bit further down in the downtrend channel here. But to me, we're really holding this no man's land, and we're really holding this downtrend top, the top of the channel here. And to me, that's bullish. It seems like it's getting ready to do something. We've got a squeeze forming. We're losing that bullish momentum. Want to see that kind of start to, maybe get a little bit bearish and then recover. So if this comes down a little bit more, I just want to see that start to recover. Maybe we even put in another low around 1550 or something. Not 1550. Where's the price here? 1578, something like that. Maybe we push through 1600 again, get underneath it, look like we're triggering and kind of another double top sort of thing. I don't know. Maybe something plays out like that and looks like we're going to get into this channel and then just rips higher. So it could just keep going sideways. I mean, what if this went sideways another month? A great time to do some spreads, but for directional options, we got to really watch these levels like today, be positioned to buy off one of these lines and sell off the next one. That's what I was doing today. That was my plan. And today it just didn't work because I was off by a minute. And, what I probably would have been doing today is, had I gotten in, let's say I got in 9 by 8, and saw this just chopping around through here, I probably would have pulled my target back down from 15 down to, let's see, I got in at 9. I'd probably try 11 or 12. I'd either try and just lock in 2R and be done with it, or 12, get 3. No, I'd probably do 12. Try and get 3. And I would have been very cautious about moving my stop up because I wouldn't have wanted to lose something. So either I would have set it at 12 and moved my stop up to probably 850 because of this wick here, this little line, and sorry, the low here, and hoped to not get not get stopped out on something. And then, target up at 12. And then after it went for this long, another, kind of like another hour or so in here, with the stop moved probably around 9:20 or so up to this, probably would have been like, okay, it's not getting up here. We came up to 11 before. Let me see if I can get out at 11, if it can just get up there. So I'd be setting it at 11. If it, after watching this go sideways for so long, that's probably what I would have done today. And should have come away with, 2R had I waited a minute. So, and then I probably would have been more inclined to look at the bearish side, looking at the puts to see, okay, it's not really moving much bullish. What are the puts going to do? And see this come down and just kind of go sideways and then wick down. It's like, okay, where is this going to actually, show me it's going to move? And that would have been this kind of move where it actually gapped on the option. And on the 5-minute, we didn't have a gap, but we had a clear breakdown here and a retracement, and it gave you some opportunities to get in over here and hopefully getting in 7x6, something like that, rather than waiting for this next one to go and try and do 8x7, which would have worked. It just would have been a little longer to wait for, and starts to get into an area on the 5-minute where it's actually going in the direction you want it to. And it's like, that's where I want to already be in, as it's moving. When it looks like it's going to get going that way. So in this case, that squeeze fired and had a little bit of momentum shifting, and then continue on bullish and kept going down for a whole lot of bars. I didn't count this to see how many. Let's see, 2 o'clock. So what's that? Almost 20. Pretty close to 25 minutes. Where we kept having bearish momentum all the way through until over here. So yeah, about 20 or so. Pretty crazy. So where are we at now? We're sideways. We got still some lower highs here, some relative lows. If you include extended hours, and really it's not really shaping up to do too much. So if we can hold a low here and start to move up again, it looks like it'd be promising. And also, if we can hold this high and come back up to it and roll over again, that'd be a great opportunity too. So those are a couple things to look for. And of all things we had today, it was a bullish candle, very small, tight candle. So if we gap down and open below it, this thing could totally be off to the races, pulling back into this range, because that'd be a bearish gap and go, and then a bit of a retracement, and then another bearish gap and go. And when you have 2 bearish gap and goes, opposite, alternating around another candle, and the second one triggers the first one, we've got a name for that. We call it Battalion of Soldiers. And no, not Battalion of Soldiers. Soldiers is bullish. Battalion. No, I'm saying the name wrong. Crows. Something crows. Black crows? No, I forgot the name. Gosh, it's been a little while since I remember that name. Battalion of Soldiers is when it's doing it bullish. I can't remember it now. Something bearish. Anyway, it's it could totally trigger this first bearish candle to continue on continue in that direction. Just shows some extra momentum for that kind of thing to play out that way. I keep wanting to say Battalion of Crows, but I don't think that's it. Maybe I'll remember for tomorrow's video. So stay tuned for that. And we'll see where this thing's going after another day. Hope you enjoyed this video. This is Justin Amazon. Thanks.